What's going on, guys? I want to talk about a couple of things: science and pseudoscience. I don't know if you guys know what the difference is on that, but you need to look it up. They are completely different. Now, I'm going to start off with some pseudoscience, give you some uh, examples. They say it took millions of years for the dinosaur bones to fossilize. Millions of years. Well, they opened up a chamber in Gaza in one of the pyramids, which they claim the pyramids are only 40, somewhere around 4,200 years old. 4,200. Uh, but they opened up a new chamber that they didn't know about before. And they claim now rat turds. Rat turds they found inside of it. Fossilized rat turds. Now, how come it took millions of years to fossilize dinosaur bones, but this rat shit, rat turds, in the desert fossilized in 4,200 years? Must be something with the sand. Uh, Gravity, folks. Gravity is a theory. It has not been proven. It is pseudoscience. It's not real. Viruses are a theory. I don't care what you say. Viruses have not been proven to be a fact. Now, your body does things to get rid of bad cells in your body that makes your body sick. That's your immune system. That's what the common cold, that's what the flu, that's what pneumonia is. That's your body kicking in. And in some cases, it puts you in a bed for 2 weeks. It did me. The last time I was sick, 4 years ago, I was in bed for 2 weeks with pneumonia. Uh, I mean, down sicker than hell. My lungs were so filled with stuff. It was amazing that they didn't put me in the hospital. But my bathroom was about 10, 15 steps from my bed, and I couldn't breathe by the time I got to the bathroom. That's how bad a shape I was in. But it was not a virus, folks. It's your body. It's your body doing what it's supposed to do to get rid of contaminated, sick, dying cells that are in your body. Now, whatever got in my body that caused that, how it got there was probably through something I was eating, drinking, uh, something like that, smoking. I don't know, uh, but it definitely wasn't an airborne virus. And if airborne viruses were real, I'm sorry, folks, but your mask, your paper mask, your cloth mask, all that shit ain't gonna stop an airborne anything. I painted for I painted houses and schools and bathrooms and shower rooms and shit. We put epoxy paints in those rooms, especially in high schools or schools, commercial bathroom areas and stuff. The epoxy paint. Even if you was wearing a breathing apparatus over your mouth and nose, the fumes off of those that are airborne, fumes off of that paint will go into your body through your pores in your skin, through your eyeballs, through your ears, through your hair. That shit will get into your body. If it's airborne, you're going to have to cover your head from head to toe. Nothing out in the open. Now, we only wore masks with filters on it for our oxygen. And people, you do that kind of work for about 4 hours a day in them bathrooms and shit, wearing that mask, and you still come out, you're wired like you just did a pound of crystal meth or something. You're wired hard. So don't let them tell you that an airborne virus can be stopped with a simple piece of cloth over your face and nose. It cannot be. Your best bet would have a face mask, full gas mask on your face. But if this was real and really airborne, that ain't enough either, folks, because it can go through your pores of your skin. So covering your mouth and nose is doing absolutely nothing but following orders, and they're seeing how much they can control you. Globe Earth and Flat Earth, neither damn one of them has been proven. I can prove neither one of them can exist. You can't have a flat Earth and claim the Grand Canyon exists. There's no flat part of that. You can't claim lakes on a flat Earth. It can't be just flat, and it can't be a globe. It's somewhere it's in between. What it is, I have no idea. But until you use some kind of real science to prove anything, I'll stick with. I know it ain't flat, and I know it ain't globe. Till somebody throws something else out there, I'll tell you if I know if it's that or not. It has to be concaved. It has to have, with mountains, it's got a higher points and lower points. We got sea level, we got below sea level, and we got above sea. We got, it can't be flat. Got north and south. Anyway, people, if you don't know what real science is, and this used to be, they taught this to us when I went to school. Real science is, and real science evidence, empirical evidence, is done by using the scientific method and the steps of the scientific method. Now, there's steps. You write a hypothesis of what you think is real. Gravity. Gravity is the power that holds everything to the spinning ball Earth. That's your hypothesis. Now you got to start doing experiments. Figure out if it can be proven. And you'll either do experiment after experiment after experiment until finally you hit one that proves it, or you never hit one. Then now you have your research that you did after you wrote your hypothesis. You've got your research. It either proved your hypothesis or it disproved it. If you proved it, then you go on to the next steps. The next steps would be showing your findings out of your research, your hypothesis and everything, turning it over, showing it to the other scientists, and letting them know what you had found with your experiments and your evidence. And then the other scientists would take that, what you did, and they would do their own experiments. They would do yours, and they would do many more trying to disprove it or prove it. And if they do your experiment and it doesn't work, well, then it doesn't get proven either. But if they do your experiment and they all come together and come up with the same conclusion that you were right, then they put it out to the world. They put it in books. They write books on it. That's when it becomes empirical evidence. Somebody sitting here going, Let's see. A ball or an apple fell from a tree. That's gravity. That's got to be gravity. Or there are billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of stars and planets and moons and galaxies and everything throughout this endless vacuum of space. I have no proof to that shit, folks. None. They didn't stop it with science. Oh, they've screwed science up so bad today. I'm sure, who knows what's going to. I mean, any theory, they claim it's empirical fact. That's why the globe earthers are having such a hard time proving that the earth is a globe. They can't do it. Even after all these years, they can't do it. Not even NASA. They can't explain their lies. They went after math. Now, when I was in school, math was I liked math, and I had what was it? I was doing algebra in the 8th grade. Went all the way up through, I think, trigonometry, and math was one of my favorite subjects. What'd they do to it? Now we got Common Core. I seen these problems, 5 times 62, and they have to do a list of shit this long and show their work and all the and people. I don't even know how they come up with the fucking answer. There are people that have PhDs from the Harvard and shit that can't even do Common Core math, but it's being taught in our schools. Now we got this critical race theory. That's what you need being taught to your kids. Oh, and transgenderism and how you can go to school. You don't want to go home and tell your parents, but you can go to school and change your gender, your pronouns and shit. Yeah, people, what they're doing to your kids. They weren't done there. They had to go after the history. And already they've done lied so much about history it ain't even funny in the first place. But now they're going to go back and tear it down and rewrite it so it don't offend anybody. Shit. People, let me tell you this. When Obama was in office, some bad things happened. Y'all thought Obamacare was about getting free health care to everybody. It had very little to do. Obamacare had about 25% to do with health care, 75% to do with taking local and state control away from the states and the local governments and giving it to the federal government. Now, Obama had to do all this shit. He had to in order for things to fall into place. The medical field, after Obamacare was put into law, now became a weapon to use against the American people. I don't care whether you believe me or not. If you could do some research, I wouldn't be telling you this. You would already know it. Anyway, after Obama did what he did, who was the next president, folks? He used it. He used the weapon that Obama put into place. Trump. Medical martial law. Oh, yeah. Prove me wrong. I don't give a shit if you're a Democrat or a Republican or a Libertarian. Prove me wrong. Trump used it, and they will continue to use it from now on. People, uh, this shit ain't gonna get better. Anytime the shit they have gotten past in the last 3 years, oh, it's coming over the next 3 years, 3 to 5 years, and you will see what they actually did. Uh, Obamacare. That's why we're where we are today. Government. That's when Obama governmentized the medical field. Now the medical field is what it is today, a part of the government. End of story. And that's what they wanted. They got it. People, you better find Jesus' path. If you haven't found it, and if you have found it, you better walk it. You better do those things you know you need to do to be reborn. Orson Welles in 1938 used the radio and convinced probably millions of people. I don't know how many people he convinced, but he convinced a lot of people in America that Martians had landed in New Jersey and was, I guess, taking over the world with just a radio. What could they do today with the technology they have today? With all the heavy metals they put into the sky, what could they project off of that stuff? With all the pseudoscience becoming empirical fact, they can do anything they want, just like in Hollywood. People, God loves you. So do I. You need to be reborn. If you haven't been, I suggest you do so. Time's running out. None of us are promised tomorrow. The way these guys are going, we'll all be lucky to be there. They want us all dead. They want us all dead, folks. There is no doubt about that. They think they don't need us anymore. This winter, people are going to starve to death, probably freeze to death. This fall is going to start. You think it was bad because you couldn't find no baby formula? What do you think it's going to be like when you can't find no food? Or if the food prices are so fucking high you can't afford it? Gonna hope for another stimulus check? That stuff's coming, folks. Soon. These people aren't going to stop. They even tore down the Georgia Guidestones, I guess, to get rid of evidence. They didn't want nobody else to see it anymore. realized, oh shit, they are doing this. See God. Till the next time. Love you. So does God.